Okay, guys. So in our last session, we have gone through, we were going through the order to cash cycle. We have discussed in detail what is the order to cash cycle, what kind of different configurations would be required in order to cash cycle. We have done the basic configuration part so that our order to cash cycle can run. Then we have done our, and then we have completed one cycle with the using GUI. And then in our last session, we went into the Fiori and we explored multiple applications available within order to cash related to fulfillment. We have seen that advanced Fiori applications are available, like how to handle the issues. And we also see that how the analytics would be generated with the issue and how the exception handlings would be working with the Fiori applications like sales order fulfillment issues. So we have gone into the multiple analytical applications, and we have also seen that how the issues would be analyzed. We have also seen the bubble charts and how the bubble chart would be helping us to prioritize the issue. And we have seen that for the exceptional cases, not only the identifying issue, it also helps you to get the issue resolved. So we have completed one cycle with the exception scenarios where the sales order issue got resolved. We created delivery, goods issue, and then invoice has been posted. So that is part what we have covered in our last session. Today we will proceed ahead. There is one new functionality, which is the sales order approval. Sales order release functionality is there that we are going to discuss. But before we go ahead there, if you have any questions, you can ask it now. Okay, guys, if you don't have any question, I will quickly proceed ahead and I will start our new topic. So we are going to start a topic today now is how the release functionality will be working with the SAP S/4HANA. So sales order, we can say approval. Or we can also say sales order release. How this release or approval functionalities would be working. That's what we are going to discuss it now. So SAP actually introduced from 1709, they introduced, it is called flexible Fiori workflows for approval. Okay, this is the terminology they use, flexible Fiori workflows for approval. So initially it was introduced in the procurement where multiple objects in the procurement was introduced, your purchase order, purchase requisition. Initially very basic functionality was there, but we have seen that there is an improvement in 1809 and there is also a little bit improvement in 1909. So they have done some improvement. Now for procurement side, from 1809, we said it's good to go. In 1709, we did not consider as a productive, although it was launched because it was having a lot of bugs and issues was there. From 1809, we said, okay, it can be used by the customers as a productive. So basically for procurement, we were already having a release strategy. So this release strategy was quite complex. That's why SAP moved ahead with the new flexible Fiori workflows, although the release strategy is also there and the flexible Fiori workflows will be also be there. Both would be running parallelly. But flexible Fiori workflows, it would be easy to be handled by the business users and they would be able to configure it, change it as per their requirement by using a Fiori applications easily. So that is a procurement part. When we go into our procurement cycles, we'll be discussing this part again. But we are in the sales. So for sales, they first time release sales. So 3 objects they have covered: sales order, credit memos, and sales quotation. These 3 would be now coming under the release part, where would be able to go ahead with the release or approval. So In the sales order, what happens that whenever you want to, let's say, take example of a sales quotation. Whenever you want to put a sales quotation, whatever the prices you have recommending, there can be another team or there can be another price approval manager would be there who need to take this, who need to give this approval that the there is a correct price quoted, or we need to do some corrections, or we need to give some better price. So that part need to be done, so that sales quotations require some approval. So in system, that cycle was not there, that after the sales quotation approval, it automatically goes to some another person, he reviews it and then he approves it. Or same kind of case, if the sales order has been created, in some cases where the sales order also need to be reviewed, it's a big or huge sales order we have created, and that big sales order need to be reviewed so that we can make sure when we are doing that big selling, we would be making profit out of it. We are not selling in the loss. So for that processes, the approval process or the release process was required. That has been introduced. Again, this is an initial delivery, guys, so don't have a much expectation. It is just initialized in 1909. Okay, and we are expecting that it will get improved when we go further. It's the same way in 1709 when it was introduced for procurement. It was very basic functionality which we did not consider that it can be directly used. So the sales order functionality is the basic functionality has been given, but it would be having some bugs and issues when you would be checking it end to end. So SAP is, we are expecting that with the next release, with the 2009 or 2010 release, it would be in the better shape to be get utilized. But it's a very decent start. So SAP actually got success with their flexible Fiori workflows, which has been introduced initially. With the procurement, that's how they are proceeding ahead with the sales, and they will be proceeding ahead with the multiple objects in future with the same concept. The concept is same for procurement and for sales. For both places, the concept is same. Now we'll go ahead and we'll see what is the sales order approval, or what kind of cycle would be there. So first thing we'll be having is a sales order creation. So once the sales order sales order is created, if we have activated, if system would be, first thing system would be checking that is this sales order is activated for approval. It should go under the approval strategy or no. That is the first thing system would be checking. If you say yes, then system would be checking that which workflow need to be used. Okay, so this part, the initial part, SAP has now given, that was not there in procurement. That is the new part now. That has been given by a body implementation, which would be done by the application which we have used, custom field and logic. You remember in the business partner, we created a custom field through this custom field and logic classification, and we activated it. And we have also seen that the classification field is also available when we are loading our customer in the HANA migration cockpits. So the same application we need to use, and we need to activate this body. In this body, basically what SAP suggested to do, we need to, before that, some configuration will also be required. This configuration, what we need to do, we need to first define the approval reasons. Approval reason is nothing but a set or a group which define that the approval is required. So you can say that whenever my sales org, for particular sales org, let's say our sales org SG02 is there, I need approval. So I will create a reason and I will attach with SG02. Or you can say that SG02 or customer SD02, and if my sales organization is SD02 and my customer is Y, then I always need approval. So you can also add a reason that because this combination need to go ahead with the approval. Reason is nothing which would be selected by user when he is approving it. It's just a technical key. So don't get it confused with the reasons which generally when in the approval we mention it, that what is the reason for approval. It is just a technical key which is required to get your sales order approved, to identify that which sales order would be approved. You can also create a separate document type. This is my, if my sales order type is ZR, then only these sales order is going into the approval. So you can assign it with the sales order reason. So that is what system would be first identifying whether approval is required or not with the body activation. Once it say that, okay, in the body it says the sales org is SG02, and for SG02 we have approval reason, and due to that reason it need to go for approval. Then system would be checking that which workflow, okay, that which workflow need to be used to get it approved. Now this workflow is set it through application called manage sales document workflow. So this would be configuration basically. This would be configuration through this Fiori application, which would be defining that for which condition, which set of approval need to be approved. If the sales order price is more than 10,000, if the sales order price is more than 50,000, different kind of approvals would be required, right? So that would be set it up in this application, that which workflow need to be used. Under this workflow, system would be identifying level of approvals, how many level of approvals are required, and then system will also identifying who need to approve. Whether a single guy need to approve at one level or multiple people need to approve one level, or out of the multiple people, one people need to approve. So that system would be identifying it. One system identify that with the sales order creation, your workflow will trigger. And once the workflow is triggered, it would be actually going into your My Inbox Fiori application. So it will go into My Inbox Fiori application. Okay, and here decision need to be taken whether if you say it's approved, it will end, or if you say it's rejected, it will end. Or if you say rework is required. Now rework is new one. In procurement earlier, the rework was not there in the procurement workflows. Now they have added a rework condition here. If the sales order need to be reworked, then it will say that rework is required. And it will again go to sales order creation, or it will go to sales order change. And once the sales order is changed and saved, again the workflow would be triggered. Okay, so that is at the high level how the procurement workflows would be working and what kind of activations would be required. So that we will be discussing in detail, but I will take a quick pause here to check if you guys have any questions so far. Guys, if you have any questions so far, you can unmute yourself or you can raise your hand and ask your question.
Hello. Regarding this level of approval, right? Where is this? How is this level of approval? Who does it? Like business users How do you define level of approval?
So we will be going into the Fiori application where I will show you that this level of approvals, this both need to be happen in this application. Now, who would be maintaining this application? SAP has created it so that it can be maintained by your key users or core users. They would be able to maintain this application because it's simple enough. But because it is having a bigger impact, so this applications for initial purpose for the starting of the project, and after a few times till the time your key users or core users are matured enough to handle it, it would be with the consultants would be doing it. And once the go live is done, for 6 months or a year, we give this activity to a support team. Otherwise, in general, if you will check the SAP side, the application is simple enough and your key user and core user would be able to maintain that. Now, how many number of approvals would be there? Who would be deciding it? That decision will need to come from the business.
Got it. And the workflow, everything triggers automatically once this configuration is done, right?
Yeah, so at the back end, still it has the same workflow techniques. The only thing is that from front end, we are putting a logic and that is actually creating and triggering our workflow objects and tasks would be automatically created at the back end.
Sorry. So this workflow, like once it is triggered, can we check in ECC itself, like before, like Fiori, like in SBWP or something like inbox?
Yes, so you would be also be able to check in SBWP, but I have not seen any option to approve it or to reject it. For procurement also, when initially it came, we requested them that in the SBWP, we are able to see it, but the approval or reject option should also be given there so that from GUI also can happen. Approval option is only in my inbox as of now.
Okay.
Parminder, the question I had was an extension of what was being asked earlier. So, you can probably see that workflow communication in your inbox, but can you integrate that with Outlook or Gmail, just if you want the users to basically get that in your Office email versus it staying within SAP?
That need to be done separately. Out of the box, that email trigger they have not given, so that need to be triggered separately. You need to enhance the functionality so that the emails can be triggered out from this workflow. So basically the concept, which is even rather than going through the inbox, we should be activating the notifications part. Okay, and that notification people would be directly able to check it in their mobile applications. And as soon as something has been requested, it will go into their mobile device, and from their mobile device, they would be quickly approving it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But that is also one of the feature we have also recommended SAP in our initial 1709 testing when we were doing in procurement, that output generation should also be provided, a configuration for the output generation, add to the email of the approver. Whoever need to approve it, that email need to be sent it to that approver.
But they can still approve through Fiori apps, right? Through mobile?
They can approve through Fiori apps. Mobile, yes.
Yeah, one of the things, Parminder, I've seen here, in organizations is that when you have these purchase orders now, especially orders that have big value, and they go to top executives, they don't want to go into SAP and log into SAP and do it. They want it on their mobile phone so that they can review it and they can approve it. And if that feature is not, it's probably available, probably with some development, like you said, but that's really required because these VPs and presidents, they don't want to go into SAP and approve, these items. It just becomes a blocker.
No, we have done this in one of our, not for the sales side, for the procurement side, we have done the My Inbox for the procurement approvals. And basically the VPs and the directors, they actually liked a lot because they need to just go into their Fiori application in the mobile. And the look and feel is very easy in the mobile. They need to just click on approve or reject button. Okay, and then it would be able to proceed ahead. Definitely, we are also enhancing those applications because they also want to see some key figures there in the Fiori application, which is not there in out of the box. So when they are approving it, they want to quickly see that what is the total price, or if it is linked with the project, what is the total budget consumed from that project. That kind of key things they want to see it. That we are enhancing this My Inbox Fury application to show that part. But approving it through the My Inbox Fury application, which would be working on mobile, is very quick and fast.
Yeah, but it's on the mobile, right? So that's the differentiator, because if it's not on the mobile, people don't want to go to SAP and then approve it, through the app and on a laptop. So I think that's the key thing, right? Getting it on mobile app. Once you have it in the app in your mobile, then it's very, very convenient after that.
Yes, right. Any other question, guys?
Parminder, this is Punit here. The mobile apps we are saying with the Fury and mobile apps, we can install directly to the mobile, or how is that installed actually?
So you need to install the Fury in your mobile app, and within the Fury, you need to log in with the credentials has been provided. Yeah, you need to use the URL of your Fury, which has been given by company, and the credentials. To make this process simplified, it can be also be logged in through the single sign-on within the Fury. You can just click on there, and it can ask you your enterprise passwords, which is set it up for your company account, and then it can directly logged in within the Fury without mentioning the URL and user ID passwords. Any other question, guys? Okay. Now, before we set it up, if you don't have any other question, I'm going into the little bit configuration part of it and explaining you that what kind of complexity would be there. So in last slide, I have explained that what kind of configuration or what kind of application setup would be required. But apart from that configuration or apart from that setup, there would be some additional things would also be required. So what kind of additional things would be required? So what SAP has done, whether it's sales or procurement, many of the new functionality they have interlinked with the HR module. Where basically your SAP users also required to be created as employee. Okay, so that you will see in procurement a lot, and now because this we have also this now Fiori flexible Fiori workflow in sales, so that is now also mandatory in sales, that all of your employees, all of your SAP user IDs who actually would be doing the task of this approvals, need to be created as a employee in your HR master data. So what happens that when you will be going ahead and when you will be assigning that who would be the users who would be basically approving these applications, there you would not be able to find your user IDs because your user IDs are not linked with the business partner. So linkage is like that. First step we need to do, you need to create a employee ID through the HR master data. So first you need to do the HR config, basic one. If you are not using the HR module in details, you can just do the basic config. You need to define an employee ID. Then within the employee ID, you need to link this employee with the HR organization unit. And then you need to create a position. And you need to assign a position to your employee ID. Now, this employee ID, as soon as you have created, after that, you need to link it with your SAP user ID. So once this linkage is done, this complete employee ID is created. This complete employee ID would be integrated in S/4HANA with your business partner. So for your each employee, a business partner, a person business partner would be created. So there is a role in SAP for employee is BUP 003. So you cannot maintain this role directly. You cannot create a business partner directly. You need to create an employee ID, and that employee ID would be creating a business partner BUP 003. And then with this, it would be also creating a vendor. Okay, so this thing you need to first configure in the system. Then only you would be able to use the flexible Fiori workflow for procurement or flexible Fiori workflow in sales. In procurement, a lot of application is depending on that. Your self-service procurement and many other things, wherever your activity management in procurement, all these things are linked with this functionality of your employee ID linking with the business partner. And basically your business partner is the standard object which is required centrally. So earlier we have seen when we created a vendor and customer, business partner need to be created first and the vendor and customer created automatically. Here SAP has used another approach. Here this business partner you cannot create directly. It can be only created through the background processing only. Through the background processing only it is possible to get it created. So what you need to do with your transaction code, which is there in HR PA30 or PA40, you need to take help of your HR consultant. If HR consultant is not required, your MM and SD consultant need to do that. From there, you need to create your employees linking with the business partner. And once this is done, you would be able to see your user IDs. You would be able to see that your user IDs are available and you can assign it for the approval processes. So first we are going to set it up this. First we need to do our HR configuration, which will also be required. So this earlier we were covering this part in the procurement because sales was not much impacted with this interlinkage. Now sales is also impacted. So I'm covering this session here itself. This linkage of your HR configuration with employee ID and then business partner. The same thing we need to also do when we go into the procurement side. Any questions here before we proceed ahead?
There in business partner, we have a concept, right? To create a business partner as a person. Can't we use that functionality other than HR config?
No, that has not been given by SAP. So you need to create an employee, and that employee through the HR transaction, and that would be automatically creating a business partner in the system. BOP003 as a person, you cannot maintain directly.
Hey, Parminder, one question from my side. So you mentioned that there may be some organizations that may not be running HR application on SAP. They may have a more niche or a different system that does your HR operations. So it seems like for this specific activity, you still need to use the core SAP HR module. Maybe use some kind of like a mini master, right? Just to enough to support the creation of an employee ID and then be able to trigger the linkage to business partner and other functions. Is that what it would be, like some very basic setup in HR if you don't use HR application within SAP?
Yes, so very basic setup in HR would be required, even though you are not using HR functionality of detail managing your employees in HR and then creating a payrolls and other things. Even though you are not doing that, the basic functionality for the using this, the basic HR functionality, you need to activate it.
The other question I have, Parminder, is that would that ever cause conflicts? Because if you also have employee IDs being created in your non-SAP HR system, because that's where you would be running your payrolls and benefits and things like that. Have you ever seen a situation where there's a conflict because now you have two systems that are creating employee IDs?
So here in these systems, we don't create all of your employees. So those system, all of your employees would be there. So in a company, in a manufacturing unit, if I consider, hardly 10% people would be using SAP. If you consider your full workforce, right? So only out of those 10% people also who need to do this approval activities or who need to be involved in the procurement activities which require a mandatory employee IDs. Only those people employee ID would be created technically in our HR system, in SAP HR system. So that is just a technical activation. All of their functional perspective of managing employees, you would be using, if the SAP HR is not used, any third-party application or anything else has been used, that application would be used. This is only for the technical purpose to using this functionalities in SAP, or only that people who would be using this functionality would be created as employee.
Will there be,
makes good sense. Thank you.
will there be an impact on the licensing for HR?
Licensing, if you're using a basic module, would not come into the picture.
Okay, thanks.
But it is always good to get it clarified from SAP, okay? Because they give a different licensing scheme to everyone.
Exactly. That's the, yeah.
Yeah, Puneet, please go ahead.
No, I think somebody already asked the question and you answered that.
Okay, fine. So what I would be doing, I would be going in the system. If you don't have any other question, I would be going in the system, and then I would be first showing you that basically what is the impact, that why we need to create it, okay? Why the linkage is required, and then we'll be proceeding ahead. So in the Fiori, the main application which would be required which would be where the workflow would be set it up is manage sales document workflow. So I would be going in that application, and I would be showing that where the actually impact is. Okay, let me go and search the application. So sales. Manage sales document workflows. So this is the application. Where we'll be configuring our workflows. But before actually coming to this step, we need to do a lot of different configuration steps. I just want to show you why employee need to be created and linked with your user ID. So let's say for the sales orders. Let me, I will just copy it. I will not activate it. Okay, and here we need to go into the preconditions, some of the step sequences, where we'll be defining who would be the approval. So either we'll be defining a role, sales document approval level 1, and I will show you in the another application is there, manage teams is there. Under this, you would be assigning who would be the people who would be associated to this role. So this is not directly linked to your PFCG role. Or another option is to have a user. When you go here and you check for the users, you see only one user, my user ID. Although if you will going here and logging to this, our SU01, you will see a lot of users has been created here. So many user IDs are there, but only my user ID showing here to get it selected. This application or manage team also, if you use role, you need to mention your user ID against different roles. There also, if you will check for user ID, you will see that other user IDs are not displaying. If you will try to put your user ID, system will not accept it. The reason because your user IDs need to be linked with the employee ID, and employee ID need to be created as a business partner, and then only those would be displayed. So all the user IDs, employee user IDs which is linked with the employee ID and the business partner has been created will display here. Right now in this system, only a single user is there for which that configuration is done. So system is only showing this. So if you will try to use this application, you will not be able to put your names. So how to do that configuration first, that we'll be seeing. How to do our HR configurations, that will be seeing first. Okay. So to do that, what we need to do, you need to go ahead and create some of the HR enterprise structure. So we will be quickly going into it. Okay, and without thinking that what we are doing it, because we need to do this basic setup. In the project, we prefer that we have some few hours allocated of HR consultant who can do for us, that we prefer it. But if you don't have, how you need to do this setting in this system, I would be showing to you. So I'm going into the SPRO. And here I am going into the enterprise structure, definition, human resource management. We need to create personal areas, employee groups, subgroups will be using existing, but personal areas and sub areas we need to create it. So I'm creating a personal area. Let me copy it, what we have already done. So I'm putting a personal area here. Our is SG02, right? Personal area. And I will just put it here, city, New York, which we generally use in our all of the things. Region, NY. Country, US. Okay. And then I will save it. I will put our request SG02. This is SG02 we have used, and we are going ahead with that. We have created a personal area. We will create personal sub areas. So I need to mention what is my personal area as SG02. I will maintain it here. SGP1 and SGP2, just two sub areas. Let me quickly go to the employee groups. Employee group, I will use standard employee group 1. Subgroup also I will use Y1, so that I will use standard. Let me quickly do the assignments. So this is a definition. Let me do the assignments. Personal area to company code. So our personal area, we need to assign to a company code. So we have created SG02. Our company code is SG02. The same thing, I will assign it here. Save it. Assign employee subgroup to employee group. This has been already assigned, not dependent on our org structure. So that is done. Okay, now I would be going ahead and I would be creating it a position. To create a position, first I need to create I need to create an org structure. I need to create org unit, and then under the org unit, I would be creating a position. Okay, so let me quickly do that configuration. So I'm going into the transaction PPOCE. This is a transaction we need to use. This will not be used much for the sales side, but I want to show the complete picture here, because for the procurement side there is some usage of this. We will be assigning a procurement org structure here, and something will be defined from there. Valid from date is very important. So if you are putting valid from date 2706 from today's date, we need to make sure that employee creation date and everything should follow the same date. Otherwise, due to the date issues, we have seen you would be facing a lot of problems in the synchronization between your employee and the business partner data. Your business partner would not be created. So I'm going ahead with the same 1706 date. So new organization unit is here, so I will maintain it. Organization unit. Organization unit OU SG 02. Sastrageek SG02 organization unit. Company code I will assign to SG02. Organization ID has been created. City I will put New York. Country US and region NY. That part has been done. Rest other details we don't require it. So I will now save it. So this organization unit has been created. Now under this, we will go now under this we need to assign, we need to create a position. Okay, so this unit has been created. Let me see how to create a position under it. Yeah, new position. So I just need to right click it and go to assign and double click on the position. So this is my position is sales team SG02. SG02 sales team. Company code I will assign to SG02. Or some data. Okay, so position has also been created. I will save it. Now under this position, we will be assigning our employee. Now my basic configuration has been done. Now I need to go ahead and I have a sales org. Okay, under that I have a sales team. Under that I need to assign my employees. To assign the employees, I need to go ahead and I need to create my employees. The transaction code is PA30 or PA40. I will go from here, human resources, personal management, administration, HR master data, PA40. So from here, we will be creating employee ID. But before I create employee ID, I will take a pause here to check if you have any questions. If you have any question, you can ask it now, guys, before we proceed ahead. Okay.
Hey, Parminder, one question, Parminder. So this structure that you're defining, could this also be leveraged for generating workflow errors for EDI transactions?
Which EDI transactions?
Anywhere where you have an IDOC, creation, and if that IDOC fails, basically, and it goes into error status, could you generate a notification through the same structure here to these employees in that standard, SWBP inbox?
See, you need to, if you want to utilize, you can utilize it, but there is no out of the box functionality to get it done. So SBWP, it would be used for the workflow which you are creating it. Okay, right. So there we have a different way. It's not exactly linking with it, but we have a different way to get it connected. This will make more sense. It has some functionalities where basically you can maintain some default values for the team itself here. and that default values would be going into transaction like when you would be maintaining your purchase acquisitions. So there it has been some linkage, but from the sales side, it is just required a structure which doesn't have a lot linkages in the sales, I would say. Only the basic structure is required. For the other purposes, if you want to utilize it, you can, but you need to do the enhancements for that.
Yeah,
it's not out of the box.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Sure. So before I go ahead and create this sales, create this my employee, we need to also do one more configuration. So let me show you that how the linkage happens between your employee, how the employee linkage need to be made sure, what kind of configuration it would require. So let me go to SPRO/O SPRO, SAP reference IMG. Here you need to go to personal management. There is a personal management. SAP S/4HANA for human resources. Synchronization of business partner for SAP HCM employer role. So whenever you are going to configure this is the information where basically you can start it, and then it would be guiding you all of the steps which you need to do in the system, or all of the steps which you need to check in the system. Everything will be defined here. So here it is showing you that all the business partner config, which we have already seen, that business partner need to be created, basic settings need to be created, number ranges need to be created, and the linkages between the supplier and business partner, that need to happen. Everything has been mentioned here. Everything has been mentioned here. What there is some settings which we also need to do it in this transaction, OO central person, which I have already done. Okay, which I will show you. But whenever you are going to configure it in a new system, this is the place you need to go. And from here, basically, you need to proceed ahead. So let me show you that transaction. OO central person. So some things need to be activated. So this need to be activated, which we have put it on. Integration is on. Active integration HRACX on, and then there is this one HRALX PBP on need to be on. So what setting need to be maintained here? Okay, what setting need to be maintained here has been mentioned in the document which I have shown you. And then another thing is here, we need to mention here that when the business partner would be created, what would be the number range it would be used. So if you remember our configurations, what we have discussed. So what kind of configurations we are having in our configurations? In our configuration, we said that the number ranges need to be in sync, right? So the same way here also that will apply. I need to make sure that the number ranges need to be selected by system automatically. So what is going to happen here? Here, you will create employee. Employee will take number range from your HR master, whatever the number range you have given, it will take from there. And the employee would be creating a business partner. And this business partner will be linking with your vendor. So what do we need here? We need here to have a business partner group, business partner grouping, link with the number range. And this business partner grouping link with your vendor account group. and this linking with the number range. Here, your number range can be anything, but the coding of the number range, whether you are setting number range 01, 02, 03, that you need to define here. Okay, and this number range which you are defining here, that code should be same in this number range also, and your business partner grouping also. These all three should use the same code. Then only the integration would be happening perfectly. Let me provide a quick screenshot of this. So here, this is the one setting which we need to do, which we have already maintained here, that the number range EE should be there. I would quickly show you the configuration which has been already done. So this is the one configuration. So let's see the another configuration which will be required. So let's first see the configuration related to our business partner. So in business partner, we need a subgrouping and we need a number range, and then we need a vendor account group and we need a number range. So that all configuration I have done, I will quickly show you how the configuration, what configuration we have maintained. So if you remember the path, our business partner configuration SPRO, we need to go into the central cross application component, and here SAP business partner, basic settings, number ranges and groupings, define number ranges, intervals, here I have defined this number range. It's an internal number range. EE I have defined here. The same EE I mentioned in my OO personal central configuration. Then I need to assign it to the business partner grouping. In business partner grouping also, I have created a grouping with name EE, and I have assigned a number range EE to it. Then next thing is vendor account groups and linkages, linkage of this business partner grouping with the vendor account group that we do into our master data synchronization, customer vendor integration, business partner setting for vendor integration, field assignment, assign keys, define assignment from vendor, from BP to vendor. So my grouping was EE. So that EE grouping has been assigned with the vendor account group EMPL, employee as a supplier. Okay, EMPL. So this EMPL, some account group should be there, or you can create your own account group. And this account group need to also be linked with your number range. So here we are not implemented the same number range concept. If you want to implement same number range concept, the same number of your business partner and vendor should be same. That also can be done, as I explained previously in the business partner chapter. So the account groups, let's quickly see the account group settings: financial accounting, account receivable and account payables, vendor accounts, master data, preparation, assign number ranges to account groups. Our account group is EMPL. Number range is assigned EE. Now this number range need to be defined here. Intervals. Here you will see we have also defined a number range EE here. Okay, so this configuration setting is done. then your business partner linkages will be fine. Then you need to also do one more configuration. Let me go back to our HR configuration. In personal management, reconciliation account. So generally, when we create a vendor, we define a reconciliation account in the business partner. Here, business partner and vendor both are getting created automatically. So you need to define when from your employee, FI supplier role would be created, what reconciliation account need to be used, that we need to define here. So for our company code, which is SG02, let's check what reconciliation account we have created. I don't have a F4 help here. I will go here to transaction FS00. My company code SG02 is there, okay. I think that's a liability account, yeah. So our vendor reconciliation account is 5,000. So the same account I need to do it here, so that this is a mandatory field when business partner you created as a FLVN00 role. So a reconciliation account we need to mention, but this is an automatic process. So to do have automation, you need to mention here for a particular company code, what reconciliation account need to be used. And then we save it. Now the basic configuration has been done, guys. So if you have any question, you can ask quickly before I go ahead and create the employee. So you can go ahead and you can unmute yourself and ask the question if you have.
Hey, Parminder, previously somebody asked that question of mapping this to IDOC, but how come this is even relevant to the IDOCs? Because this is neither coming in the order creation or change or delivery. This is going to be a separate process, right? Your approval.
Yeah, you are correct. So this process would be a separate process. That was asked that whether it can be used, the structure which we are creating, whether that structure can be used in that process, but it is a separate process. You are correct.
Okay, thanks.
Any other question, guys? Okay, if you don't have any other question, let's proceed ahead. So basic configuration has been done. Now the expectation is that when I would be creating my business partner, my employee, then system would automatically create a vendor and business partner. So let's see how it happens. And guys, please remember this chapter. This would also be utilized in the sourcing and procurement. I will not repeat it, but the same configuration will true for your sourcing and procurement also. Multiple application use this functionality where your employees need to be created. So let me go to our screen where we were trying to create an employee. Personal actions. So I need to go to maintain PA30. Here I need to click on create. It says, so there's some issue, guys, and I need to still check, maybe some note need to be implemented. This is not showing here to me that the info type text here, okay, somehow it got deleted. So info type text would be here like general, address. So these kind of info type text would be here, which you can also see here if you see the F4 here. So this text has been deleted for some part. So generally you will see the information text here. So the initial 1, 2, 3, and 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, which is we are maintaining here. So I will select with the first info text here. Just follow the steps, the same step you need to do it. It says enter a personal number. I would put a personal number, let's say 3 or 4. It's the internal number range. It will be, so 3 is already created. That's why everything is checked here. I'll create a 4. Yeah, 4 is not created. So I will select this and I will create 4. Start date is very important, guys. Please don't put start date in past. Please put today's start date only. If you'll be putting start date in past, that can create a problem. Here I will put the position which we have created. So this is SG02 position we have created. I am putting it here. Employee group as an employee subgroup, also this. Enter. Now it says the number range is internal. So I need to mention. System has automatically given a number 4. And this is my position which I am linking it to. Then I will save my entries. Now it says that to give me some personal information. I'm putting Mr. So I would be adding one user ID here. So I am going to use a same. So I will go ahead in SU01. I'll identify one ID and then we'll be maintaining the structure for that ID. I think PS log is our IDs. So let's maintain for that. Let me maintain for this PS log 06. I don't know whose it has been assigned, but I'm just randomly selecting PS log 06. That user ID I would be using it. PS log, first name is 06. Birth date, I'm putting it same, today's date. Otherwise, some date need to be put it up. Nationality, I'm using US. All the data is related to US, so I'm putting it US here. Save your entries. Saved. Okay. Here it will ask me to create a sub area. This 2 sub area I have given. Business area we have not created. So I'll just use existing business area. Okay, I think we are into this screen where we have created a position. This we need to save it and I will come out of it. This has been saved. Now it asks me to put some address. Postal code I would be putting 1001 to city, New York. Country is US, region is again NY. I will some put address line also. Employee address. So address has also been created. Save. So it tried to create some work scheduling rule. We are not going to do that detail, so I'm not saving that part. So this part has been done. Let me check what is this. For this info type, I will click it here, click on create. This is some bank key account details that also we don't have. We don't want to link it with payroll. We don't require. So after clicking or after doing all this thing, one thing you need to do, you need to go in your info type 105. Okay, that you need to remember, guys. It's communication. Under the communication 105, again the text has been missing here. Subtype is 001, username. And once you mention it, you need to click on create. Here you need to assign the system ID. So my system ID is already assigned. Okay, so what I am going to use is I'm going to use this user ID and put it here. Save and press. Now a record has been created. Now let's see whether this record has created a business partner. So let's check if the business partner has been created. So I'll go to /NBP. Business partner role which would be created is BUP 003. Enter. So you can see the PS log 06 has been created as a business partner. Partner number is 9900104. So business partner has been automatically created. So all the employee address, whatever I have maintained, it's coming here. So if you will go to the even FI vendor role also has been created. So if you will go to the company code, which says if it has not created a vendor. Okay, let me go to business partner. The role is BUP 003. This is the role. Enter it. Okay, before that, I will go into the first check our vendor role, our business partner role, employee role, BUP 003. So all details are there. Let me check the identification. So you can see here in the identification, my user ID is coming here. That is actually linking. That is linking my user ID. My user ID is now getting linked here. So this employee is now linked with the business partner. The employee 4 is linked with this user ID, and this is the business partner number. So it has tried to create FLVN00. Okay, now it is showing. Let me check again. Actually, it should also create a vendor. It has not created a vendor, so that I need to check. Although there would not be impact as of now, but it should create a vendor also. Okay, it has not created a vendor. So I need to check the linkage between the business partner and this FLVN00F5 vendor. Something is, some data is not missing, that's why it has not created. But we would be able to proceed ahead with this information also. Once our employee has been created as a business partner, we would be able to proceed ahead because we are not going to pay to this employee. So that's not a problem for us. Okay. Now, if you will see, if you will go back to our applications, let's check it now, what users it shows. I need to log in again. Now you see the two user. As soon as you have an employee created to the employee link with your user ID and that business partner has been created, you will see that information here. Your user ID will appear here. So multiple places wherever the user ID need to put, I receive a lot of questions, many questions I receive. Almost every week, 3-4 questions I receive to those applications that our user ID is not showing. So you need to do these steps, guys, to make sure that user ID get displayed here. Okay, so this part is done. So now our user ID is related. I will just try to do one more step. I will also link this my user ID with my org structure, which I have created. So that is actually not required for our SD cycle, but in MM cycle, it will play some role. So I need to go to transaction PPOME. There, this is my sales team. I can click it here, assign a business partner. I will assign both. This also. I'm using this and this. Both I will assign. Okay, so the both business partner employees has been assigned here. I will click on save. So our configuration is completed, guys. So we have successfully integrated. Your business partner, your employee with the business partner, and now you would be able to use it. I will also show you one more step because it happens smoothly, right? It happens smoothly because I have done the configurations. So when you will be doing a configuration and you have already created some of your employees, which need to be created to the business partner, or you have created the employee, but some configuration was missing, and then you have done the configurations. So the existing employee need to be transferred to the business partner. For that, SAP has given some specific programs. So let me show you that. And everything is available in this document itself. So if you will go to this document, it mentioned that we can use this report to synchronize a set of employees, or if you want to synchronize a single employee, this report can be used. So I'm copying this. You need to open this. There's also some T code here linked with this, which you can get it from this link. Otherwise, I will open it here, direct program. I'll open in slash and SA38. I will run this program. So you can mention here the personal number, which is not linked to the business partner. Here you can mention that personal numbers and then you can execute it. So once you will do that step, system will try to create a business partner. So let me try to put one here and execute. It says that personal number is processed, check logs. Now how to check the logs? Logs, you need to check it from SLG1. Slash and SLG1, I will put my username. Parminder, I will put date from 26. Execute. So here, if there is any error, your employee is not getting created with the business partner, the errors you will receive here. So it is saying that no configuration found for application of business partner object 294, or you can see that some earlier errors which I have got. So this kind of error, you will see the error for validity period of address is not meeting. So that kind of errors you will see, which we need to fix it. So it is also showing a lot of different errors. So this error is not linked to us. This is SHGM employee integration. That is the error. Object. This object text would be SHCM employee integration. So that kind of errors we need to go and check. Okay, I have also shown you guys how the troubleshooting need to happen. Now let's proceed ahead. Now we will be starting. So when the basic configuration is available, now we will be going and starting ahead with the actual configuration which we require to maintain it, to maintain our process flow, workflow. So to do that part, the first thing we need to do is again go into the configuration /nspro SAP reference IMG. And here I would be going ahead with our sales and distribution. Sales document, sales document approvals, define reason for approvals, and then assign reason for approvals. So I will assign one more reason here. ID would be SG02. Reason is sales order approval required. Again, guys, this is not the reasons which you said, that rejection reason or those reasons. This is a technical key which would be used to identify out of multiple different sales order you are having, which sales order need to go for the approval process. Okay, so I have mentioned this. I will be maintaining in caps. Everything you maintain in caps, guys. Otherwise, it can create some problem. SG02 sales order approval required. Save it. Now the data has been saved. So this request reason we have created. Assign the request. So here I need to put it new entry, my document category for sales order. This is the new reason SG02. And then I can save it. So the both configuration step has been done. We have assigned the 3 categories are available. So your credit memo, quotation, and order. There can be 3 kind of different documents which can go for approval as of now. And you can define separate reasons for that to select them separately from body. Now in the next step, you would be able to see what is the actual use of this order reason. Now I need to go to the application, custom field and logic. If you remember this application, we have already used it. Earlier, we have used it to add custom fields. Now I will be directly going into the custom logic. Okay, and here we need to activate a body. What is this body? Body is the set approval request reason for sales document. This body need to be activated, which is already activated. But if you want to activate it in your system, then what you need to do here. So you need to click on this plus icon, create business contacts. Business contacts would be sales document, body, set approval request reason for sales document that we need to select. We need to give the implementation description here. And then you need to click on create. So our body is already implemented. So I will just cancel it. I will directly go here to show you what we have done. In this, we need to write a logic. Here, basically, you would require a help of a programmer. Although the things are straightforward, it's kind of SQL coding is which they have given. But when you need to write a little bit complex logic, you need to put it here. You need to take help of your developer, or your developer need to actually write it. So what system is showing here that this is the logic. If sales document, sales organization is A20, or sales document, sales organization is SG001, my sales order approval reason would be SG1. So what system is saying that if this condition is there and a reason has been defined here, then any sales order which is having a sales organization either A20 or sales organization SG01, system will try to check what is the workflow for approval. System will try to workflow for approval, check those workflow from here. Is if this condition satisfy. So here on the top, system has given that what are the available values. Within the sales document, what are the different fields which we are able to use, that system has given here. Value help also, you can check it from here. And then sales document type, sales document item, and sales document partner. These are the different fields which you would be able to use here. So what system is trying to show here is sales document item. This is my main category. Under this category, I want to use sales organization. So whether it's available or not, let's check, and how we need to write a syntax for that. Sales organization. So this is which is available. I can copy it from here. So sales document hyphen sales document hyphen sales organization. This is my field combination, which I can select. And for the value is equal to A20. So when you will be opening it, system would be giving you some kind of a draft proposal example. So you can see the example. So this is the example system show you that how you can create a rule or logic. So I'm clicking on the create draft. So this is my published code. And I want to now also include the code which I am using it, right? So I need to put it here. So let me try here. I will copy this one. I will put it here. If sales document, sales organization is equal to SG02. Always use caps, guys. Or statement I will remove. Sales approval reason is SG02. So it is showing me some error here. It's showing me error because after the each line, I am having this full stop, right, which is missing here. Let me put it here. That's fine. So it is saying that if my sales document and sales organization is SG02, and then my approval reason need to be selected as SG02. So if you have approval reason and if your sales order is SG02, then system will say that this sales order would require approval. What kind of approval it would require? It will go to the workflow. Based on the workflow, it would be deciding that to which person it need to go for approval. So I will test it, what I have created it. It says first I need to save the draft. Let me save the draft. Now let me test it. It's tested, no issues. I will click on published. Now my body has been activated. Now expectation is that SG02 sales orders would be looking for the workflow. Okay, so the basic configuration from GUI side and the body activation we have done. Now we would be working on the manage sales order workflow application. Before I go there, let me take a quick pause to check if you have any questions. So if you have any question, you can unmute yourself or you can raise your hand.
So I have a question on business partner, which you showed for HR. Okay, why does when you're in display mode, it shows all drop down roles available, even though they are not available? It should only show the BUP 003 role, right? Or vendor FLV10.
Mm-hmm. So it can happen because SAP has system has tried to extend it. So some of the general information it has put it, which has come under that role, but it is not able to extend it fully. That's one of the things which this different role comes. Other thing is that we also have a role grouping. So if the role is part of the groupings, then also system can display the other roles, which is part of the grouping.
Okay. Are you going to show us configuration for flexible workflow configuration?
That only we are doing it so far from starting of the session
Yeah.
till now. That part only we are doing. So all this configuration which I have shown you, you need to do it. Then only you would be able to design the workflow. So these all is a configuration which you need to do for the flexible Fiori workflow for the sales orders.
Okay. Okay. For procurement, I saw there is a separate field called tab flexible workflow for approval. So I thought the same with sales document also.
I also wanted to have a same field. Actually, I like that logic more, where basically a particular document type, you can do it. So that is more easy to do it. There's no body required. That field which you are asking in procurement has been replaced with this configuration in the body. Now the thing is that it is difficult to do it, to write this code. There it was just a tick there. Here you need to write the code, but the other thing is that here you have a huge amount of flexibility that you can play around with the different sales organization combination, different materials, different part. In procurement, once it is activated, for one document type, it is activated. For all customers, all vendors, all materials, everything under that document type, your flexible Fiori workflow would be activated. Here, the flexible Fiori workflow, you can just select it, that particular sales order document, particular sales organization, particular customer or particular customer groups. My flexible Fiori workflow should be activated.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I was checking that same thing. Flexible Fiori workflow.
Yeah. Any other question, guys? Okay, if we don't have any other question, let's go ahead now and proceed ahead. With our configuration of the Manage Fiori workflow app. So this part has been done. We also published it, right? So once the publishing has been done, we'll be proceeding ahead. Okay, now the next application we need to do is Manage Fiori workflow application. So let me search for sales workflow, manage sales document workflows. So here we have 3 objects which we can do: credit memos, sales order, and sales quotation. Now we are going with the sales orders. We'll see that how to set it up a workflow for the sales approval. So first thing is that after the first condition, which is there in body, is successful, after what is that first condition is telling? First condition is telling that which sales order is applicable for your flexible Fiori workflow. So once system find that the flexible Fiori workflow is applicable, then the second thing system need to go and check is which workflow need to be selected. Now here you will see multiple workflows can be there and the order is also there. It doesn't mean that first system will execute this. Once it is completed, it will come to here. It will come to here. No, it doesn't mean that. What does this mean? The system will start looking from here in order. In order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this order system will see. Wherever system will see it's activate. Your workflow is activate. Within that, we are having a precondition. Now let's say you are having a 4 different sales org. And you want to have a 4 different workflows for this 4 sales org. There are the different set of approvals are there. People who would be approving it. To do that, what you would be doing is you would be creating a workflow for sales org 001, sales org 002, sales org 003, sales org 004 with the order 1, 2, 3, 4. So once a sales order came and a body is activated for that sales order, and the sales order is for 003 sales org. Because body is activated, system will start checking from here which workflow it need to go. This precondition doesn't match. This workflow is for 001, this is 003. It will not go inside. This also doesn't go, it will not go inside. This condition match. System will be using this workflow. For one document, system would be only using one workflow. Once this condition is matched, let's say your 4 also is SG003, sales organization 003, but it will not go here once this has been matched. So only one workflow would be selected based on the precondition which would be there inside the workflow. And once the workflow has been selected, then you would be going inside it to check what kind of different approvals would be required. So we'll be creating it here from scratch. I will create a new workflow. So I'll mention SG02 workflow. This is property is basically workflow for SG02 sales org, valid from today, or let me put 1 day from prior, valid from 26th, valid to 4th. Start condition. So this is a condition which system will check whether it should start a workflow or not. Okay. Here it is clearly mentioning only start the workflow if all of the following conditions are met. So whatever the conditions you will mention it here, system will say and. When all of the condition has been met, then only system would be selecting the workflow. So here I would be defining if my sales organization of the sales order is SG02. Okay, if you have a multiple distribution channel and if you have a multiple divisions based on the distribution channel also you want to restrict, you can also click it here, add one more. Distribution channel of the sales order is, you can mention it here what. Then system would be checking only this sales organization and this distribution channel. This is a workflow which is applicable. If the sales distribution channel is different, then system would go out from this workflow. It will try to check another workflow which is suitable. So I will delete it. You can also add alternative precondition if required. This is an or condition. This or this. If you want to put an or condition, this or this would be there. If you want to put an and condition, this and this is and after these two conditions, this is an or condition here. So you can add alternative precondition as an or statement here, which I don't want. I want to first show you a simple example. So once this match, system will say, okay, this workflow is required. And then this system will go inside the sequence. Then what sequence the approval would be required. So here we need to add the steps. So your steps, this can be based on the sales order amount, or this can be based on the another features of the sales orders. Okay, if one distribution channel, one approval is required, another distribution channel, another approval is required. That is also very much possible. And here system would be going with all of the steps, not only the single step. System will be going with all of the steps. So my step number 1 is sales order less than 10,000 USD. This is my first step. What is the step type? Do you want to release of sales order or do you want to rework of sales order? Now, rework of the sales order would be kind of an action. I would be saying that release of the sales order. If the sales order is less than 10,000 US dollar, who need to release it? Okay, so here I'm having a role. I'm selecting the role. Initiator of the workflow or sales document approver level 1 or approver level 2. Let's say I'm saying that sales document approver level 1. So under the sales document approval level 1, we will be assigning different. We would be assigning different people who would be able to approve it. So I'm putting sales order document approver level 1. There can be multiple people inside. So who need to approve it? Whether one of the recipient can approve it, or all of the recipients need to approve. Let's say under this I have 4 people. Out of 4, if 1 is approved, my workflow will go to the next step, or all 4 need to approve. That is controlled through this indicator. Now, what would be the step condition? Again, same kind of thing here. We can manage here with and or condition. So here I am putting my price part, net value. So here it is only greater than, let me see, the net value is less than. Net value is greater than currency. I'm not putting. I can also put the currency USD. That's not an issue here. USD. Greater than 0. So if the net value is greater than 0, it will be going with the approval level 1. So here, if you want to add one more. So here you can also put approval request reason of the sales order. So based on the approval request also reason also, you would be able to put to the multiple different approvals. Okay, so this we have selected. If it is for any value which is greater than 0, it will be going here to this approval. And we can also mention now the deadlines, that when the deadline would be coming for this. If it is not approved for 1 day, it will be considered as a overdue. Now we are having exception handling, rework sales orders. Okay, what would be happening if the rework of the sales order has been selected? We need to restart the workflow. Workflow would be restarted if the rework of the sales order has been selected. I will be clicking on add. So this is my first step. Now I will be adding another step. This is sales order is greater than 10,000 USD. So it is for release of the sales order. Role now will be going to the second one, level 2. One of the recipient need to approve it. Step condition is net value is greater than currency is USD. $10,000. Deadline is 2 days. Rework sales order, restart workflow, add. So with this condition, what would be happening? All the sales order would be first going till 10,000 level to this approval. And then as soon as the sales order value is more than 10,000, it will go to the two-step approval, first to this step and second to this step. Now I will save it. Now the next step I need to do, I need to activate it. If I activate it, I would not be able to change it. If you have activated the workflow, you will not be able to change it. If you want to change it, you can copy it. Okay, create a new workflow, make that workflow activated, make it deactivated. That is the steps we need to do. Now, creation of this workflow, you have seen it's very simple compared to your release strategies. If you have any question, you can ask it now. Till this point, how to configure your workflows. If you have any question, you can ask it now. I have not defined who would be the approvals. I've just put it a role. Now we'll be also be defining that who would be the approvals for that. Okay, guys, if you don't have a question, let's proceed ahead. So the approval process has been set it up, but we don't know who would be the approving it, who would be the approving party, right? So I would open a new tab. Here we would be setting up the team's responsibility, who would be responsible to approve it. Let the system download the apps first. So the application name here is team, manage teams and responsibilities. So this is the application name, manage teams and responsibilities. Here we'll be going and creating a team. I will create a team here. The name is SG02 sales order approval. It's ready for use. Sales document approval. Type, I need to select here. In type, I need to select here the sales and billing. And based on this type, it would be having a link functions with it. Here you can again define the responsibility definition. That this team which we are defining it here, what would be the responsibility of it? So we are saying that all of our sales organization SG02. All of our SG02 sales organizations, this team would be responsible, which you're creating. It automatically took the business partner number of mine that I am the team owner. Now I need to put it here, who would be the team members. So I need to put the team members. Only 2 users I'm having, I'm adding both as the team members. Now here I can assign that who would be the, what functions they would be doing. So I'm saying this function, both function I'm giving it to myself, level 1 and level 2 approval. Approval level 1 and level 2 both I'm having. And this PS log 06, we are giving the approval level 1. So the approval level which we have defined when we are defining our workflow, that basically we have assigned it here. Then I need to go here and click on save. So this people has been assigned, this business partner has been assigned as a team members, and we have put it into the role. And we have also saved it, it's ready for use. Now I will try to create my sales order. So I will go to /NVA01 or sales organization SG02. Sold to party, let's check for SG02. What sold to party we have created. Let me use this. This is sold to party. SO approval. Material or material start from SG02. FG01 batch. This is our material. Order quantity 1. Okay, continue. I need to put price. So I will try to put a price more than 10,000. So let's say price 12,000 US dollar. I put it 120,000. 12,000 US dollar. Let me try to save it. Edit payment terms. Okay. Now save it. System is trying to initiate the workflow, so it will take a little bit time first time to create order. Order has been created. Let me try to open in VA02 340. So it's throwing me error that this document is in approval. I cannot even open it in the change mode. Let me see in VA03. Here, if you go into this header document status, you would be able to see that it is under in approval. And you will also see the reason here, sales order approval required. that you will see. But from whom it is pending, who need to approve it, how many different level of approvals it will go through. The same way you can check in your purchase order. You would not. There's no display for that. It only shows that it is under the approval. Then if I go into my business workplace, let's see here. Workflow items executed by me, started workflows, I would be able to see here. And from where I need to approve it, I need to approve it from Fiori application. Now let's go to that Fiori application. Inbox. My inbox, all items. Looks like it is not appearing. It should appear here. Let me check if the workflow has been correctly triggered. So we can check from here, SWI1. We can check it from here. I'll put it from 26th to 27th. This is the latest one. This shows completed. This is for sales order 338. This is for sales order 338. Our sales order, it looks like this is also 338. Three, 337. So 340, it has not initiated. The workflow has not been triggered. So I need to again go and check the configuration part, that why workflow has not been triggered for this.
Can we check in VA03 workflow further?
We can check in VA03. Where is my VA03 screen? Let me open here. $340 was the document, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So here it shows me the status that this is in approval. Sales order approval require.
In header, I think there should be some workflow log where we go to workflows.
The one option they have given here, not here, I need to go one step back. I can withdraw the approval request from here. If it is there in approval, I can withdraw the approval request from here. But apart from that, Apart from that, we don't have any much option here to explore. The same problem was there when 1709 they have introduced. From the purchase order itself, we was not able to know that. It's just approval. It went to approval. Who is going to approve? Whether it has gone to him or not? How many different level of approvals would be there? System doesn't show anything.
Can you check in service for objects? Is there service for objects?
Sorry, what?
Service for object, where we can go to relationships and everything.
Service for object.
Yeah, in system.
Where?
In VA03, in the header, you see system, right?
This is not VA03. This is VA03.
Okay. It's not developed.
Nothing is there. So there's two things can happen here. One is that it is also linked with one of the batch jobs, but it should not be linked with the batch jobs. As soon as we have created it, the condition it identify, but triggering a workflow might be some batch job which got stopped, and then it is not able to pick it. Let me again see here, refreshing. No, it's not coming. Okay. So what I need to do, I need to cross check all of the configuration which we have done. Then we would be able to see that where the problem is. So I have already consumed 20 more minutes today. So we will be ending our session here for today. In tomorrow, I would just do the analyze, and then in tomorrow we'll see what was the issue and how to get this workflow activated for the sales order. Any question from the today's session, if you have, you can ask it now. Okay, guys, if you don't have any question, we'll be ending our session here for today, and we'll join back tomorrow and we'll continue this sales order approval. We'll see what was the issue, why it did not triggered. And in tomorrow's session, we will also start with the AATP, Advanced Available to Promise Concepts. We'll be starting in tomorrow's session. And we are having only 2 sessions this week again, guys. I am having some work on Monday. So today and tomorrow. Tomorrow would be a session. We'll not be having a session on Sunday night or Monday morning. Okay, guys, thank you for joining today. We'll see you in the next session. Goodbye for now.